take your shoes off. You keep one shoe for yourself, pass the other shoe to your newlywed. Thus you have a his and hers shoe. And that is how you're going to answer the question. So, ladies and gents, if you're not familiar with this game, as I said, this is how they answer the questions that I'm about to read out. So if it applies to yourself, you put up your own shoe. If it applies to your newlywed, you put up their shoe. Easy peasy. Jake, don't be wearing the missus' shoes. It's not the weekend yet. Wait for the weekend. Okay, so in the event, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a tiebreaker, for example, and they put up each other's shoes, depending on the question, I may throw it out to you guys, and you can answer in your own wisdom as to who the question applies to. Okay, so, first question, guys, okay. We're going to start with the easy ones, work our way up to the more tricky ones. Okay, so, who is older? Who is older? Now you see, Jake, you've fallen into the first trap, you know, of married life, yeah? See? Happy wife, happy life, yeah? There's two ways of, like, there's two ways. There's a bad way of lying, yeah? Children shouldn't do that, it's a bad way. And there's bending the truth to compliment your wife. You can always get away with that, yeah? So sometimes if you want to bend the truth slightly, compliment your wife, that's always a good one. So we'll try that again. Who is older? Who do you think is older, Jake? There we go. So remember that for future questions. So, next one now. Who's got more brothers and sisters? For this one, if you happen to have the same amount of brothers and sisters, excellent. Okay, so, time for a romantic question. When you guys first met, who made the first move? Hey, Mr. Lover. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is often a controversial one. You know, it's a bit of a two-parter, but we'll find out. Who is the better driver? Who do you think is the better driver? See, now, in future, if we get an answer like this, as I said to you before, I may throw it out to you. However, I did say this is a two-parter, so we can find out who's been involved in more car accidents. And we'll leave it at that. Next one now. Okay, school days. Who do you think studied the hardest at school? Who do you think studied the hardest? Oh. So we have our first tiebreaker. Okay, so if you think it was Shannon, make some noise. Yeah! And if you think it was Jake, I think more people for Shannon, but Jake got the highest pitch scream. Okay, so that's studying, but who do you think got the better grades? Who got the best grades? Oh, is it another 50-50? Okay, well, how about Life Smart? Now, Life Smart can mean, like, being able to put strange Swedish furniture together by looking at pictures instead of the words and how to, like, put things together. Who's more Life Smart? Ooh, we've got another tie, shall we? I think, yeah, sometimes some questions are just best left. Okay, so today, didn't happen overnight. There's lots of emailing going to and from, organising this, organising that, a lot of creativity. So who do you think is the most creative between the two of you? Who do you think is the most creative? Oh, well, that's nice, that you both think you're both creative. It's not a competition, guys. It's always nice. Okay, so adventurous. Now, both of you and all your wonderful guests here have flown all the way to Cyprus, which is very adventurous to see you guys get wed today. But between the two of you, who do you think is the most adventurous? Who do you think is the most adventurous?
Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh.
Hey. Not necessarily in the bedroom, but, Shannon will find out later. Next question. Sorry, I know there's children question. Okay, so whilst you're here, hopefully, between all the meetings and things like that, you've had a chance to relax by the pool, do a little bit of sunbathing. Who's most likely to get sunburned? And who's most likely to offer to rub in the after sun? Okay, we spoke about driving earlier. So who's most likely to maybe drive a little bit over that speed limit? Only one shoe there, please. There we go. Oh. Okay, in which case, who's most likely to be running late? Well, that's no excuse for speeding there, Shannon. So, next one now. Now, Jake, remember what I said earlier? Bending the truth, happy wife, happy life. Okay, you bear that in mind for the next few questions. Who do you think is the better dresser? Who do you think is the better dresser? But you see, you never know, Jake could be bending the truth, Who knows? Okay. Who spends the most time in front of the mirror? Okay. We'll see what happens on this one. Who do you think is better looking? That's always the answer I look at this one. Okay, time for another romantic question. Who said, I love you first? Oh. Maybe they said it at the same time whilst looking into each other's eyes. Okay. Hopefully not after this, it's just a little bit of a laugh, you know. But, you know, sometimes at home you might have a slight disagreement and an argument may break out. Who is most likely to start an argument?
Oh, God, John.
I think there's definitely some truth in that, because I saw Shannon just giggling away with the rays of shame. Okay, so once you've had that argument, you know, whoever started it, I'm not saying, you know, but, you know, who's most likely to say, I'm sorry first? Who's most likely to say, I'm sorry first? Oh. Well, I think we might know in which direction this is going. So who do you think wears the trousers in the relationship? Okay. So, maybe, you know, maybe while you're here, you know, or at home, you know, you have a good night out, you're getting a little bit late, you know, not too much to sleep, you know. In the morning, who's most likely to wake up a little bit grumpy? Who's most likely to wake up a little bit grumpy? Yeah. So, sorry, Jake, can you just raise that shoe up? There we go. Okay, so, whilst you're here, you know, you might want to, like, you know, travel around, see the sights, you know. Who's most likely to get lost? Who do you think is most likely to get lost? Easy one, that one. Okay, in which case, who's most likely to ask for directions? Oh, but it doesn't matter, because, you know, although Shannon has made sure that Jake's got lost, you know, they will both ask for directions. Unfortunately, here in Cyprus, everybody is right, no matter which direction they send you in. So, GPS, it's always a good thing. Okay, so, next one now. Last few questions. At home time question, who do you think is messier? Who do you think's more messier at home? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's normally the way. Is it a case of, like, always leaving socks by the side of the bed, that kind of thing? You forget to put, yeah, always forgetting to put the shirts and stuff in the wash bin. Okay. Second to last question should be a nice easy one. Who do you think has the smelliest feet? Who do you think has the smelliest feet? Jake, no sniffing. Okay. So, last and final question. We'll make it nice and easy. Between the two of you, who do you love more in the world? Who do you love the most in the world? Between the two of you. Because obviously you've got kids, that goes without saying. That's it. That's always the answer I'm looking for. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, that's it. A big round of applause. It's just a laugh, it's just a giggle. So, we'll let them give them literally, do not go anywhere. We're going to give them a few moments, take away those chairs, and we're going to get ready. We're going to have the father-daughter dance, and then the first dance is husband and wife.